Hello and welcome to another Bad Comic Review. This time we're looking at Batman the Knight issue 4. It's a 2022 miniseries written by Chip Zdarsky, art and cover by Carmine Di Giandomenico, colors by Ivan Plascencia, lettering by Pat Brosseau, edited by Ben Abernathy. This issue finds Bruce Wayne going to a monastery in Korea to train under an exiled Japanese master. There he meets a student named Anton, who later becomes the really annoying Ghost Maker. And they quickly form a friendship that is written very much like the beginnings of a romance novel. And it turns out that the master is also training some assassins, and when Bruce goes to leave so he doesn't have to learn a lethal technique, he ends up having to fight some of these assassin students. Now, obviously this is the League of Assassins, and we're going to see more of them later, and he gets saved at the last minute by his pseudo friend or whatever. Overall, the art in here is definitely better than the last issue. There's some better perspective shots. I still don't like the art style itself, but I can recognize the artist is improving. The trouble is this issue was kind of boring. It read more Lifetime movie than it did action movie. And that's just the dialogue of it. It came off more like an interpersonal communication storyline and less like an action book, despite all the action. So I was kind of bored, but it wasn't the worst thing I've ever read. If I'd paid $1 for it, I'd have been a lot happier, but $5 is way out of line. So if you can find it for half the cover price, I would say get it. It's got some good action scenes, but the dialogue really needed some work, and it felt a little bit like it was rushed. And I'm not real keen on Ghostmaker showing up because what a boring character. So I'm not going to recommend it unless you can find it cheap. That being said, I'm losing interest in this miniseries for all the reasons that were given in this review and in the previous ones. It looks like just back issue bin fodder. It's nothing overly memorable. It's not badly written. This issue was the weakest written one, I think, and I kind of hate the art overall. Like I said though, this art, they switched positions where the art was better than previous issues and the writing got weaker. So I think this is just a modern retelling of Batman's origins with some added fluff and characters that didn't need to be there. We've had all this stuff given to us before. It would have been a better retelling if they'd kind of stuck with the more traditional origin of Batman, because at least that would have been much more action-packed. So it really seems like a lot of this is being stretched out for no reason. That being said, I'll probably pick up the next issue to see if it's going to get any better. If it doesn't, I'm probably going to drop it until it hits the dollar bins. The cover also is a problem because it's really boring. There's implied action, but there could have been really cool action scenes there. It could have had a bunch of people leaping down at Wayne instead of making him look like a 12-year-old with a neck problem. Instead, they wasted all that to make it look like these characters are floating because the white doesn't work well with the orangish color at the top. So that really didn't work for me at all. The framing of the picture is off. The logo looks small because there's all this dead space in between the logo and the characters. They should have had a character jumping down from above instead of laying on the ground, and you could have had them jumping from all sides, drawing your attention to the center of the image, but they didn't bother with that because that would require more work. So really boring cover that just looks like a panel out of the book. So that's gonna do it for this one. Thank you so much for listening and supporting the channel. If you enjoyed the video, please hit the like button and don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss future reviews. If you'd like to help the channel out in other ways, links are in the description to various support methods, and as always, we hope to see you on the next one.